Ladies and gentlemen, my beloved brothers and sisters, peace, power, and prosperity and blessings be upon each and every one of you once again. It is my esteemed honor and privilege on this most auspicious occasion to be back on the air with you. I know it's been a few weeks since I've presented my commentary, my sermons, my 2 cents, whatever you would like to call them. But here we are again, and I am honored and privileged, as I've said before, to be with you once again. And this time, I'm here to acknowledge and celebrate and honor all of the mothers in the world, those mothers that are holy and divine, those mothers that are honorable women, those mothers that are not deadbeats, those mothers that are respectful women. And I want to tell you that today is your day. But you know what? If you are an honorable woman, every single day, not just today, but every day is indeed, without question, Mother's Day. Now, personally, I don't celebrate holidays anymore because for various reasons. But in spite of all of the decadency, in spite of all of the filth, the hell, the havoc, and the chaos that is unfortunately going on in our world, I must tell you, I have to tell you, in all truth and in all sincerity, it is so good to see and to know that there are still honorable women in the world. And so for the next few moments, I want to share with you just a few words, a few thoughts of mine. And for those of you that are students of the Bible or not, if you are a student of the Islamic, beautiful Islamic piece of literature called the Quran, bear with me as I explore and to hopefully encourage your heart and your minds, your spirits, that you will continue on being the honorable women that you are indeed are and you continue to be. And so here we are once more. Let's get to work. My subject today is entitled The Good Mother, a Virtuous Woman. That's right. The Good Mother, the Virtuous Woman. I'm going to use Proverbs chapter 31 and the 10th verse, where it is read on this wise. Who can find a virtuous wife or virtuous woman? For her rubies, her worth, for her worth is far above rubies. Her worth is far above rubies. The Good Mother, a virtuous woman. Spirit of the Most High, fall fresh upon each and every listener. Allow these words to resonate with those who you allow and you ordain to resonate with. As always, anoint our minds to remember and memorize, our ears to hearken and listen, our hearts to believe and receive as well. Loosen and remove the knot in my tongue so that I may be effectively be able to communicate and recite thy truth, the truth of eternity. Allow the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be pleasing and acceptable in thy sight. In your name we pray. Amen. The book of Proverbs 31 and verse 10 is our passage for the day. And before we get into this, all right, wonderful, good. All right. The good mother, a virtuous woman. All throughout the Bible, it highlights several women whose motherhood was defined by faith, courage, and dedication to the Most High, serving as the ideal examples of nurturing and spiritual and salvific guidance. The ideal mothers of the Bible are as follows. Mary, the mother of Yahusha, or the one commonly called Jesus, is the supreme example of obedience. The mother of Yahusha, Mary, accepted a very challenging call with grace, dignity, and supporting her son throughout his precious life, even during the most barbaric time of his life, the crucifixion. Another ideal mother is Hannah, who is the mother of the prophet Samuel. She is renowned for her patience and her intense prayer life. She entrusted her son back to the Most High, the prophet Samuel, and dedicating him to a lifelong service serving the Father. The mother of Moses, Jochebed, the mother of Moses, Aaron, and Miriam. She was a model of courage. She defied the laws of Pharaoh to save her child Moses, the great emancipator for the nation of Israel. She demonstrated incredible faith in protecting her son from danger. Another ideal mother is Elizabeth, who is the mother of John the Baptist. This mother was recognized for her faith, to believe in a miracle, to conceive in her old or more advanced age, and encouraging her son to fulfill his purpose and his destiny. Sarah, who is the mother of Isaac, despite deep and personal doubt and waiting for decades for a child, she is honored and recognized for her eventual faith and belief and her endurance. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, another example of being an honorable mother is Sister Eunice, the mother of the Apostle Timothy. This woman was recognized for her faith and commitment to teaching the scriptures to the next generation. Sister Eunice, the son, or rather the mother of Timothy, is a shining example of being a godly mother. Now, I know for a fact that This is Mother's Day. This is Sunday, May the 10th, 2026, according to the Gregorian calendar year. But I want to share with you that I personally have stopped celebrating holidays because every single day should be a holy day instead of a holiday. Holy days means you acknowledge your mother every day. But when you celebrate a holiday, you commercialize that which is holy, precious, and divine. As a matter of fact, allow me to quote a young man who I have the utmost respect for when he brilliantly said these words, quoting the Quran. Let's find it here. But he says in the Quran that motherhood is the gateway to heaven. Allow me to quote. Let me quote it properly. Here we are. Shout out to the young man, Brother Yisrael. He said that heaven lies at the door of the mother, quoting the Quran. That was what the Prophet Muhammad said, that heaven lies at the foot of the mother. It is to my understanding that when the Prophet Muhammad spoke these words, he was not only highlighting, but he was signifying the sacredness and the gracious treasures of motherhood. The mother is not only a mother that is someone that gives birth to children, but a righteous mother is the archetype of the sacred and feminine divine. The mother is a calling, and any holy and righteous woman can answer this call and display this kind of honor. Being a mother, without question, is not for everyone. Every woman is not fit to be a mother. But those that are called to be a mother, those that answers the call, you don't necessarily have to give birth to your children, because there are some wonderful mothers that adopted children and raised that boy, raised that girl, raised those boys and girls just like they were their own. They may not have the same blood type, may not have the same DNA, but it is a matter of those children being adopted mothers of the heart. And history tells us that there have been plenty of people, some of the greatest celebrities in the world were adopted because their birth mothers or their biological mothers, for whatever reason, for whatever circumstance, unfortunately, was not around. Maybe because they were dealing with addiction. Maybe because they were wicked enough to just hand their child over away. But whatever the case is, adopted mothers, those honorable ones, are just as valuable as those mothers that gave birth to their children. Unfortunately, excuse me, pardon me. Unfortunately, Unfortunately, we come to the realization, excuse me, there we are. Unfortunately, we are living in times where women who are mothers are not good mothers. We live in a time where mothers do not see their children as human beings. We live in a time where mothers see their children actually as subhuman pawns that are disposable. But the virtuous woman does not see her children as subhuman. No, she sees her child as extensions of herself. The virtuous woman cares for her family. She makes sure that her children will never go without, even if it means that she herself will go without. She herself will make sure that her children will be fed first while she goes hungry. She provides food for her household and a portion for her maid servants. This is Bible. It's in the 15th verse of the 31st chapter of Proverbs. An honorable mother, good mother, will take care of her children. I didn't say that the mother was perfect, but I did say that she will do everything she can to take care of her children. Let's face facts. We are living in some of the most outrageous, godless times that we all have been eyewitnesses to. We are celebrating whoredom instead of celebrating marriage. The reality of the matter is, unfortunately, there are more women today that are becoming mothers, but they are not becoming wives. Why are there more baby showers than there are weddings? I'll tell you why. Because the woman has forgotten her place and her role as a mother. And one of the worst things that has ever destroyed the family nucleus is the erroneous philosophy, the toxic ideology of feminism. Feminism is the cause of the decadency that we see and we hear and we observe every day in all walks of life. Women are really not interested in the welfare of the child because they use child support as a come up at the expense of the man. And we are not addressing this like we should. They use child support like it's a come up, like it's a big business. They use their family, their children, and the husbands as collateral damage. But the virtuous woman does not lower herself at all to the decadent level of prostituting herself and prostituting her children. A virtuous woman not only cares for her family by helping them, but by protecting them. A virtuous woman does not allow for her children to be caught up in the decadency of being with a predator and allowing their children to be susceptible to being violated. So I'm talking about a virtuous woman. A virtuous woman is a woman that is in divine favor with the Most High and will not be one that allows herself not only to be prostituting herself or prostituting her children, but will not allow for her children to be used as a come up. You've heard me tell you this once. I'll say it again because it's been a while. And since it seems like everybody wants to talk about why is the black woman always catching the most flack, I'll tell you why the black woman is always catching the most flack. Here's the deal. Sisters, you are the original life in the universe. You were not called to be bad female dogs. You were not called to be whores. You were not called to be tramps, sluts, whores, slurs, and the like. No. You were originally ordained to be a daughter of Zion. You were ordained to be a daughter of the Most High. You were ordained originally to be set apart from the world. You were not called to be like the world. You were called to be set apart from the world. You were originally called to be a peculiar nation, a royal priesthood. You were not called to be one to sell your husband out and allow the government to be your new husband. You were not called to be so defiant, so arrogant, so pompous. You were not called to reach the levels of decadency in which you chose to reach. So if you ask the question, why are black women catching the most flack? All of this is a result of your hard-headedness, your defiance, your disrespect of the Most High. You were called to be a wife, not a whore. You were called to be a mother, not a prostitute. And here's more. The reality is, I know that some of you, a lot of you have the nerve and the audacity to flaunt you being whorish, and you think that it's all right. You think that it's perfectly normal and it's perfectly fine to be unfaithful to your husband by giving yourself to every man that comes by. And you're raising your sons to be the very kinds of men that you hate and you despise. It's the truth. And then when a man sees the wicked games that you play, the nerve and the audacity of you to get angry because that man is not going to kiss your rear end, is not going to take and tolerate any of your disrespect. That's why the black woman or the melanated woman catches the most flack. You have become totally unrepentant. You have become totally amoral. Allow me to quote Mr. Damian Michaels when he said, quote, "Y'all don't date. You don't engage in relationships or marriage without actual gods and spiritual men aligned with you. You date regular men, mere men with low basic frequencies." The amount of you who swear you are witchy and you're oracles and you're a goddess and you're an empress and you're still using all of these excuses on why you choose the wrong men is crazy, diabolical energy and spirit. I'll throw that in, and spirit too. Mr. Michaels also goes on to say you're supposed to be a seer and a reader. Your intuition is supposed to be top tier. Your third eye is supposed to be opened at all times. You should never lack discernment. Mother of creation. Mother of creation. Yeah, you. So you are only a priestess for social media, but not in your real life? Oh, okay. End quote. Oh, and let me throw this also. Some of you call yourselves going to throw or perform voodoo on Klay Thompson because he was unfaithful to Meg the Stallion, right? Well, how about you start using some of that voodoo to improve on your life? How about you start using some of that voodoo and improve your life, your relationships, and everything else in your life? If you're going to use voodoo, why don't you do that? But you know what? The reason why you are so upset and you're so livid and you're so perturbed that Meg the Stallion had her relationship all messed up and she can't keep a man, it's because you are living vicariously through your celebrities, your favorite celebrities. And many of you have been living through Meg the Stallion, thinking to yourself that, hey, if she has a whole body count and she got with this man, then it's hope for me. That's what you all think. It's the truth. That's exactly what you all think. That's exactly how you all feel. But didn't work out too well, did it? But a virtuous woman who is in a healthy relationship, who's in a healthy marriage, who has a healthy relationship with husband and children, you are jealous of her. You're jealous. And the reason why you're jealous is because she's living the life that you have always dreamed of living. And a lot of you know for a fact that deep down, you too had the opportunity to become the virtuous woman that the Bible bespeaks on. But it was because of your bad decisions. See, a mistake is inadvertent. A mistake is accidental. A mistake is non-intentional. What you made were bad choices. And now the era of consequences is really starting to kick your rear ends, and you can't handle it. What does the good book tell you if you didn't tear it out? It says, be not deceived. The Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever man soweth, the same shall they also reap. This is the era of consequences. And everything that you reap, that you sow, you reaping it now. And you can't handle it. Virtuous woman also helps the needy. The virtuous woman helps the needy. The virtuous woman, when she sees somebody that's down and out, excuse me, when a virtuous woman sees some woman that's down and out, and she has the resources to help those persons or person that's in need, she helps them. And her intention to help them is pure. The Most High smiles approvingly. He looks down approvingly on that. And then the virtuous woman doesn't go and make a social media post or a status about how they help so and so. They keep it on the wraps. They keep it low key. Yes, they do. Because they're not looking for anything in return. No, they're not looking for anything in return. And why would they? Why would they look for anything in return? Especially when they know that when they cast their bread upon the waters, and in many days, it shall return unto them. In many days, it shall return unto them. virtuous woman is an excellent wife and mother. She's a manufacturer, an importer, a manager, a realtor, a farmer, a seamstress, upholder. Her strength and her dignity does not come from her amazing achievements. They are the result of her respect and reverence for the Most High. In this godless society, physical appearance counts for so much. And they may be also surprised to realize that the virtuous woman's appearance is never mentioned, because the attractiveness of the virtuous woman comes from entirely her character and her actions. Now, I'm not saying that you should, imitate the virtuous woman in the Bible in every detail, because you all have other obligations. I understand that. I respect that. But see her as an inspiration to be everything that you can be. You can't be just like her, no, but you can learn from her. You can learn how to be a woman of integrity. You can learn to be a woman of resourcefulness. Yeah. That's what you can do. Stop being jealous. And then thirdly and finally, as I close today, the good mother was a virtuous woman. She will always keep it 100 with you. In other words, she will speak that which is needed to be spoken. She will speak wisdom. She will not lie to you. Now, a lot of women today do not have any regard and don't have any respect for other women. As a matter of fact, a lot of the older women are trying to sabotage the relationships that they have with the younger ones, because they know that the younger women are not going to waste their time, waste their energy like they did. It's the truth. Because they understand that real loyalty, honor, respect, guess what? Those are qualities that's just like water in a desert. You're not going to find it too often. And so therefore, as I close, I want to acknowledge all of the honorable mothers, the mothers that are not deadbeats. I also want to acknowledge all of the mothers that once upon a time, they were not such good mothers, but they began to see the error of their ways. And they began to make that all-important turnaround. You have a wonderful job. You have a wonderful relationship. Your relationship with the Most High is on point. Your relationship with yourself is on point. Your relationship with your husband is on point. Your relationship with your rugrats or your children is on point. Your relationship with other people personally is on point, and professionally. All of your relationships is on point. You're doing the right thing for all of the right reasons. And I'm not saying that motherhood is easy. Because as I said before, motherhood is not for everyone. But to all of the honorable mothers out there, in all the four corners of the earth, wherever you are in the world, you may not be where you exactly want to be, but thanks be to the Most High, you are not where you were. You may not be exactly where you want to be, but you are striving. You're getting there. To all of the honorable mothers out there, you have my love, you have my respect. Cheers to you. I hope something was said today that will inspire you and uplift you to strive to be the awesome mothers that you are. I know it gets discouraging, but don't change for nobody. If a woman is jealous of you, that means her admiration for you is just misconstrued. Her admiration for you is just confused. But you, my sisters, wherever you are, and I'm talking about all the mothers now, melanin, non-melanin, Asian, African, Caucasian, Canadian, Cambodian, Asian, wherever, Africa, wherever. This is not just your day, but every day is Mother's Day. Why? Because you're a virtuous woman that loves the Most High, loves her husband, loves her children. You are a daughter of Zion. Do not let anyone tell you otherwise. May the peace, the love of the Most High, and the sweet communion of His Ruach Kadesh, the Holy Spirit, be with you now, henceforth, and forevermore. Until we meet again, beloved, Shalom Aleichem. I'll see you next time.